Hello guys, how you enjoying your weekend? Welcome back to the channel. I trust you had an amazing trading week, and like I said before, if you are new in this channel and you're struggling with buyers, just stay with us and you'll be good, because our analysis will always tell you the trading buyers going into the next trading week. We'll surely have a good time here. So as a way of starting our analysis, we'll be looking at the economic calendar to know the pairs that will have volatility going into this forthcoming trading week. And for Monday, we have medium impact news on the USD. Then on Tuesday, a medium impact news on the AUD, a high impact news on the GBP pair, as well as a major impact news on the euro. On same Tuesday, we have a high impact news on the CAD and a medium impact news on the USD. Then for Wednesday, we have this medium impact news coming from China, then this red folder news on the GBP pair, then a high impact news for the USD as well as the CAD. Then on Thursday, a high impact news on the AUD, the Euro, the USD, then a bank holiday for the New Zealand pair. Then Friday, we have a bank holiday for the Euro, the CHF, and the CAD, so there won't be any volatility for Friday. So that being said, all of the pairs that have these high impact news dropping on them, they will have volatility induced into the market, as well as market manipulation. You can see the tariff war going on between the United States and China. It has really offset the market, and if you are trading around this, do more of observing price action than actively trading. So let's look at the forex market. So right before us, we are looking at gold. Let's see what gold has done. On our previous analysis on this pair, I said if you see gold dropping to this weekly fair value gap, we should look for a buy, then ride the trend to this high. You can see how this candle rejected above the fair value gap. That will be a cue that the market wanted to buy. Then the very next candle, you saw this indecision candle. In fact, it's a rejection. Then from Wednesday, you saw the way the market rallied and took out this high. So if you want to be trading this market, the thing is, at what point should you be trading it? That should be the question you should be asking. At what point should you be buying this market? Because gold is really bullish. So I'm taking this off the chart. So first and first, your eyes should, you should have trained your eyes, if you trade smart money concept, to identify these fair value gaps in price. If you go to the weekly chart, you won't see any fair value gap, but on the daily, it's right there. So you bring out the zones, just bring them out. This is the daily chart. Then what you simply do, you observe to see if price will retrace from where it is to any of these zones, this or this. Then if you can take your buy setup and ride it back up, it will be nice. But you have to be very careful if you are trading this period, because of the uncertainty currently being experienced in the market as a result of the tariff war between the United States and China. So something you should factor into your trading. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart, nothing really. Going back into the week, on the 1-hour chart, I got an entry to buy this market around here. Time won't permit me to show you what I saw in price action that made me to buy this market, and I held till around, let me go to 4-hour chart. I held till around this zone. Yes, I think so, around this zone before I closed the trade. Then on Friday, I wanted to do a quick scalp on gold. I wanted to take a sell, but the market went against me here. I saw this move, saw price taking out this low, retracing into this fair value gap, and I decided to sell the market, but it was a losing trade for me. With that being said, let's look at the dollar index, which we are supposed to look at first before every other pair. So this is the weekly chart on the dollar index, and previously on this channel I told you that I'm watching out to see price trade downwards and ultimately take liquidity here. So let me take you to the daily chart to show you what I was looking at. Last week I was looking at price trading into this imbalance that was created during Thursday's opening here. Created this imbalance 2 weeks back, and I said this last trading week I want to see price trade into it, cover it, then at most maybe take liquidity here, then trade downwards below this mitigated fair value gap from the weekly time frame, then ultimately trade into this zone. But price did not go the way I forecasted it. Price just simply traded into this volume imbalance, and you can see how it was held at bay at the midpoint of it, and the next day just rejected and price came down, traded into this zone that we are looking at on the weekly time frame. So now that price has traded into this zone, what are we expecting from the dollar index? Truth is, we don't know. We just have to wait and see. But I would love to look at the monthly chart to see if there are any zones that could impact price at this point. So you can see how price has traded down, taking liquidity, resting here. The value gap was mitigated. So but if you look at this point here, it could be a turning point for price. So just bring it out on the chart, bring out this zone on the monthly time frame, then watch to see how price will behave around here. If we can get a reversal, we can then start looking at the DXY to being bullish. But if we don't get a reversal, look at this zone downwards. There's a fair value gap on this monthly time frame that has not yet been mitigated, so price could just trade into it. So let's look at the daily charts. You can see how price is rejecting from this zone that we brought out from the monthly time frame. Look at the 4-hour chart. You can also see how price rejected. This is not to say that price will continue being bullish. No, price might just reject, come back, break this zone and continue trading downwards. Let's look at the Euro USD. So on the Euro USD, last week I brought your attention to this zone as well as price trading into this zone. Ultimately, this was the zone I was looking for long term for price to take liquidity. Let's look at the weekly chart. So last week I was telling you that this zone might hold price, but ultimately if this zone doesn't hold price, if this zone here does not hold price, you can see price maybe trading into this zone, then from there trade right into this zone as well as this zone to take liquidity. But so this zone held price and you saw how price traded into it, could not close out of it fully. The next day traded out of it. You see how price traded into this zone, rejected. Eventually on Thursday, this zone acted as support to push price above this level as well as to take liquidity that was resting at this point long term. We've been calling this for 3 weeks now, or going into a month. We've been calling it. So what will price do next? Let's look at our monthly time frame. Look at the zone. So if this bullish move is sustained, first of all, look at this zone here that has not been fully mitigated. That's a fair value gap. We want to see if price will just continue trading into it, then probably trade into this zone long term. But you have to be very careful if you are looking at these pairs because of the current trade wars going on between the United States and China. So let's look at one more pair. Let's look at GU. So if you want to know what I said concerning this pair, just go and watch my last week video, and it just delivered the way I said, so I don't want to go into that again. Or let me just say it, last week I said that this fair value gap will hold price, and if it does hold price does not close below it, it will serve as support to push price into this zone, then long term trade into this fair value gap. But we have seen that it did acted as support, and price has traded into this weekly fair value gap, right? This weekly fair value gap, and it's not yet showing a good sign of rejection. So hopefully going into this week, we expect this bullish continuation upwards. That is to say, if the dollar index does not reverse from that key level it has traded into. So if it doesn't reverse, we will see price trading right back up to mitigate this fair value gap. This is just what I'm saying on the GBPUSD pair. So for this week, these are the pairs that I'll be looking at. Last week we did an analysis on Euro card, but that analysis did not really work out the way we anticipated. So going into this week, just look at gold, look at EU and GU, depending on what the dollar index does. That will now signify if there will be a key turning point in the market for these pairs to become bearish on it. Otherwise, we'll remain bullish on this pair. So if you are finding value in the content that I have just dropped, I want to keep your notification on, subscribe to it, share our videos, and help us to grow. See you, and do have an amazing trading week. God bless you.